Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea and this is a space where I share everything I've learned about selling on Etsy for the past 8 years. So I've been an Etsy seller for 8 years and this channel is just where we talk about small business ownership and life as an Etsy seller and things that I have learned and strategies I've tried. So if that is what you are interested in, you are in the right place. Today specifically, we are going to talk about a very important topic. I mentioned it in a previous video where I talk about what's most important. I will link that video in the cards, but it's a very important topic. We are going to be talking about how to find trending items on Etsy. Before we even jump into how to find them, I really do think it's important that you guys know why it's so important to find trending items on Etsy. So like I said, I mentioned it in this other video, but we're gonna deep dive into the reasons why this matters so much for Etsy sellers. I truly do think that this is one of the most important things that you can do for your shop, and I have just a few reasons why I think it's so important. So we're gonna dive into those first. The first thing is that it's good for getting sales. Obviously, the point of selling on Etsy is to get sales. It's to make money. You have a business. And so finding trending items is really, really good for getting sales. The second reason why is that it's really good for trying to find new bestsellers. So if you hang out on this channel at all, you will hear me say, double down on listings that are already selling really well. That is a common sentiment on this channel all the time. It's something that I wholeheartedly believe because I have seen that work really, really well in my own Etsy shop. I have mentioned that we have listings that come, like most of our sales come from 5 listings that are our absolute best sellers, which feels contradictory to finding trending items. But I do think that finding trending items and finding things that are selling really well is a good way to find all of your best sellers that might sustain you for the next 5 years. So you might be able to find an item that's really hitting, but you won't be able to find that if you're not trying new things and if you're not trying out those trending items. So it's really important to have, I believe it's really important to have a really good mix of classic listings that are constantly bringing you in revenue year over year. You can count on them, and trendy listings that are really bringing you revenue right now and keeping your business relevant. So, and I do think that there is a mesh, there's a middle where the trending items become the best sellers, which is what is happening for us right now. So I definitely think that that is another reason why it's so important to find trending items on Etsy, because you want to be able to have that mix of best sellers, and all of our best sellers came from what once was a really big trend. So definitely really important for that. The next reason is that it makes your listings even more search friendly. So part of being found in search is selling items that people are searching for. I know that sounds really, really obvious, but I think sometimes people come to Etsy with items that they already make or they already have, which is a good thing. That's what I did. It's how I started on the platform. Items that they already have and they're unwilling to change it, and they think that a set of keywords that helps their item get found is going to help their items get sold. Which is true. That is definitely true. Keywords make a massive difference. If you hang out here at all, you know that I will preach that till the day I die. However, if you have an item in your niche, for example, we're seeing this with the initial crew neck right now. I will explain that in a second. We're seeing this one of our items, but if you have an item that's in your niche that's selling really well for other sellers that do what you do, so your craft. So for me, it's embroidery, and we just switched up slightly. We didn't add any machines or anything. We just added a new product that people were searching for, and it's selling really, really well. It's becoming one of our best sellers. So like I said, that is happening right now with our initial crew neck. It's a little crew neck with a monogram right on the collar. Really popular right now. I'm sure you've seen this trend. That came from listing a trending item. We had never done smaller monograms before. We had always done the left chest monogram in about a 3-inch circle. And now we're doing 2-inch monograms on the collar. They're easier to make and they're trending right now and they're selling like crazy. So that's an example of a bestseller. It's becoming a bestseller this year. I don't know how long it'll last, but it's really been worth it for us to list that. And it was something that we didn't come to Etsy to sell. However, we noticed that people were searching for it. We noticed that it was a trending item, so we made that item so that people could buy from us. I hope that makes sense. So actually having items that people are looking for outside of just what you came to Etsy to sell and what like what you came to sell, only if you could just push your boundaries a little bit, you might be able to bring in a lot more revenue, because that's exactly what people are looking for. I'm hoping that this makes sense. Okay, so now that we have covered the importance, you are hopefully convinced that doing this will be very good for your shop. It'll make a big difference in your shop. Now let's dive into actually how we do it. How we do it at our shop. We use 3 different ways in order to find trending items at our shop, and we're gonna break those down. So the first way is to pay attention to what is trending outside of Etsy. I know that sometimes we can get in our little Etsy bubbles and it's hard to look outside of Etsy, but it's really, really important to pay attention to what is trending outside of Etsy. So what are the people you follow on Instagram wearing? Bloggers, if you're in like my niche, preps, like Southern prep fashion bloggers, what are they looking at right now? What is on sale at Target? What's on sale at Anthropologie? Like anywhere that, like, say like where your ideal customer would shop, what are they selling right now, and what can you take from what they're selling and apply it to your business? So obviously, like going back to what we just talked about, the collar crew necks are popular everywhere right now. A lot of places are selling them. It only made sense with an embroidery business to incorporate that into our brand. You can absolutely do this. Paying attention to what other people are selling really, really well is super important and really, really good for knowing what's trending, literally just knowing what's trending in the world. The second way that we look this up is to look at shops in our niche or doing the same craft that we sell. So if you do embroidery or leather stamping or sewing or Cricut stuff, go to another shop that is doing what you're doing, selling what you're selling, a competitor basically, and look at what they're selling. Look at what they have listed. Get inspired. Obviously don't copy directly, but get inspired by them and see what's selling really well for them. If they do not have the sales number turned on where you can see what they're selling, you can go ahead and sort their items by most recent, and that'll be like what most recently was favorited or sold, just to give you an idea of what is selling really well for them. And then you can maybe get inspired by that. So that's a good way to find trending items, is trending items that even you can make, because that means that like that shop, if I go to an embroidery shop, obviously I can make those things. I'm an embroidery business. And so if I go there and sort by most recent and see what's selling really well for them, I can get inspiration for my own business as well. The third way to find trending items is just to scour Etsy search. So this looks like using broad keywords to search for items that you can make and then get inspired by that. So if it was me, I might search embroidered sweatshirt or monogram sweatshirt and just see what pops up, see if there's anything new that I haven't seen before. And then I can see if those items are really close to the top or they have the word like bestseller under them. I can see like, okay, those are selling really well. I should incorporate that into my shop. I should glean what I can and add that to my business so that I can have a trending item on Etsy. So that is definitely a really good way. The second and third ways, I guess, the finding people in your niche and using Etsy search are especially good, because that means that they are Etsy specific, meaning that customers are going to Etsy to find that item, which is really good, because that means you're targeting really, really warm buyers, people that are already looking on Etsy to find what that item is. So those are the 3 ways to find trending items in your niche, items that you can make. I really do think that this is so important for anyone trying to grow their business on Etsy. I really think we are trying to do it. I would absolutely recommend it to a smaller shop, a big shop, you name it. It is absolutely important to try and find trending items and then list accordingly. I do think that is especially helpful for small shops, as it is a good way to get a bunch of sales, hopefully, especially if you are newer to the trend. It's a good way to get your listings boosted. And then if you can deliver a really positive experience and get really good reviews on those sales, it'll boost your whole shop's credibility in the algorithm if you can get an item selling really, really well. So definitely really, really good opportunity for small sellers, just so that they can get items out into the algorithm, they can get those sales under their belt, and if they're really good, positive experience, they can get those positive reviews, which really, really help a ton with your Etsy shop. The last thing I want to note before we close out this video is to take this in moderation. Obviously, like I said, I am a huge believer in doubling down what's already working. That means that I think that every listing you list should be optimized to no end. Otherwise, there's really no point in listing it. So do not take the approach of I'm going to find every single trending item in the whole entire universe and list 4,000 things, but then your listings suffer because you don't have the time to maintain 4,000 listings. So definitely take this in moderation. Try and find the ones that are selling really well that will really push your business forward, but aren't going to cost you optimization on your bestsellers or other listings or really any listing. If you're not going to go in and keyword and photograph and do all the attributes and all the things for your listings, then it really isn't even worth listing, which I hate to say, but it's just really true, because having those listings optimized is just so important, and we talk about that on this channel all the time. But I did just want to mention that taking this in moderation is really, really, really important. You don't want to get so busy listing trending items that you can't optimize your current listings. All that being said, I really hope that this video was helpful and just really helps you on your Etsy journey. Like I said, I think that this is critically important for your Etsy shop, and something that I think not enough people do, and just, yeah, I think it's really important. So definitely go ahead and make sure that you're finding all of those trending items. If you are interested in growing on Etsy, that is what we talk about on this channel every week, 2 times a week. I post 2 videos a week all about life as an Etsy seller, growing on Etsy, Etsy tutorials, all the things. So if that is you, make sure to hang out and subscribe, and make sure also to check out my free masterclass. It'll be linked in the description below. It is a masterclass all about selling on Etsy and just my 3-step framework for finding success on Etsy. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.